Oslo, November 2039. Every murder victim carries their final memory on a chip. The police can read it. The courts accept it as evidence. A dead woman's body. She knew things she wasn't supposed to know. Detective Kai Lund starts digging, and the deeper he goes, the more he realizes this is bigger than one murder, bigger than one victim. What he's uncovering could shake the foundations of Norway's entire justice system. They already know he is getting close, and he still can't remember where he was the night the woman was killed.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you like mysteries, thrillers, and sci-fi stories that make you think and stay with you long after, you are at the right place. Let's begin.
I used to wear my heart like a warning sign, too scared to fall, too quick to draw the line. Every closed door felt safer than the rain, but I was lonely in the middle of my own name.
The overhead light in cell 3 flickers once and goes still. Kai opens his eyes. The ceiling is gray-painted concrete. A water stain in the far corner reminds him of the shape of a freshly spilled blood. The fluorescent tube above Kai hums at a frequency he feels in his head. He has woken up in places like this before. He doesn't know how he got here. He sits up slowly. His jacket is folded on the bench beside him. There is a bruise on his right wrist he doesn't remember earning, faint yellow-green at the edges, 2 or 3 days old. He turns his arm over and looks at it for a moment, then puts his jacket on. His phone is not in his pockets. His wallet is. He checks the cards. Nothing missing. He tries to assemble last night in order and manages. A bar in Grünerløkka, the third beer. A woman sitting 2 stools down who had been reading the same page of her book for 40 minutes. After that, nothing. A gap, clean and absolute, where the rest of the evening should be. He stands, runs a hand across his face, and knocks on the door. At the property desk, a young officer hands him a sealed bag without meeting his eyes. Phone, keys, a single receipt from a kiosk near Tjuvholmen that he doesn't remember visiting. 22:48. Kai looks at the timestamp. He was at the bar. He thinks he was at the bar. He folds the receipt and puts it in his jacket pocket. His phone shows 3 missed calls, all from the same number. Unknown. He stands in the corridor outside the property desk and looks at the number for a moment. It means nothing to him. He pockets the phone and walks out into a Tuesday morning in November 2039. Oslo at 0740 does not offer much comfort. The sky is the color of old snow, not white, not gray, something between the two, and the air coming off the Akerselva River carries the coldness that doesn't exist in the south of the country. Kai pulls his collar up. His manager calls before he has reached his car. Tjuvholmen, Strandpromenaden, number 38, 3rd floor. Morten's voice has the flatness of a man who considers compassion a waste of working time. Female, 20s. Neighbors called it in at 6. Local officers are already there. Forensics are en route. She has a Gen 3 memory implant. I want the standard. Take the extraction kit. Astrid's already on her way. Kai gets in the car. The receipt in his pocket burns his side through the fabric. Strandpromenaden 38 is the kind of building that was converted from something industrial into something aspirational and ended up as neither. The facade is dark brick with floor-to-ceiling windows on the upper floors. A squad car sits outside, a forensic van behind it. Kai shows his badge to the officer at the door. Astrid is in the stairwell when he gets there, blue forensic gloves already on, looking at something on her phone. She is 36. Precise in a way that has always made him think of instruments calibrated for a single measurement. She looks up. "You look terrible," she says. Morning. You smell like a bar. It wears off. She studies him one beat longer than necessary, files away whatever she sees, and turns toward the stairs. He follows. The apartment is on the 3rd floor. The door is propped open, forensic footplates laid along the hallway floor. Inside, the controlled chaos of a crime scene in its first hour. 3 technicians working. The smell of the space underneath all the procedures. Coffee, something floral and synthetic, and below that, something else. The woman is on the kitchen floor. Her name, Kai will learn soon, is Mia Dahl. She is 29. She has dark hair, cut short, and she is lying on her side with one arm underneath her and one extended toward the cabinet below the sink, fingers spread, as if she tries to reach for something there. She is wearing a gray hoodie and jeans, no shoes. Kai crouches at the edge of the forensic cordon and looks at her for a long moment. There is a skill he has that the standard training doesn't produce. Every reader at Kripos is certified to extract and decode the final 90 seconds of the life of the person who carries it. The standard playback, what they all call the read. But Kai's reads carry depth the others don't reach. The emotional layer. What a dying person felt, not just what they saw. He has spent years trying to explain this in language the methodology will accept, and so far the best he's managed is, the standard read is a recording, mine is a conversation. Morton finds this insufficiently quantifiable. The accuracy of Kai's records speak for themselves. He looks at Mia Dahl and reads what the room tells him. She was not expecting it. She was frightened and surprised. She tried to reach the sink. There are no defensive wounds on the visible arm, not enough time, or no point. The killer was between her and the door. She called someone a few times between 10:30 and midnight, Astrid says behind him, reading from her phone. No answer. No outgoing texts after 11. The pathologist puts the window at midnight to 2. Who did she call? Working on it. He stands and moves along the outer edge of the kitchen. He sees something on the floor behind the counter. It is a sticky note. It is pale yellow, and on it a single phone number written in blue pen. Clear handwriting. Nothing else. Kai looks at the number. He recognizes it the way you recognize a word in a foreign language after years of not using it. Not immediately, but after a few seconds. He reads it again. His own mobile number. Written by hand in the dead woman's kitchen. He reaches down and picks it up. He tells himself he is doing this because it is evidence and evidence should not remain unsecured. The technician 3 meters to his left is photographing the window frame. He folds the note once and slides it into his jacket pocket alongside the receipt. He stands there for a moment. His colleagues continue working around him. Nobody saw it. The forensic unit extracts Mia Dahl's implant chip at 0855. Standard Gen 3 extraction. Small incision behind the left ear, no larger than a cigarette burn. The chip removed with a tool that looks like a modified dental pick. Kai watches from the doorway. The chip is titanium-coated, slightly curved, about the width of a thumbnail. It goes into a sealed evidence sleeve and then into Kai's hand. He signs for it. In the car, driving back toward Kripos headquarters in Nydalen, he holds the sleeve in his palm on the steering wheel. He thinks about the 3 missed calls. He thinks about the number on the sticky note. He thinks about the receipt and the timestamp and the gap in his memory. He tells himself these things are not connected, but his brain plays them over and over again. The reader terminal is in a basement room at Kripos with no windows and no name on the door. The room exists, officially, as Secure Evidence Processing Suite B. Everyone calls it the read room. There are 2 terminals behind biometric access and a single chair at each. The chairs are deliberately uncomfortable, based on the principle that discomfort maintains the perceptual separation between reader and subject. Kai thinks this principle was invented by someone who has never read anything. He sits down, signs in, enters his credentials, takes the chip from its sleeve and holds it between 2 fingers for a moment and inserts it into the receiver port. The terminal runs its handshake with the NeuroSync cloud. The connection establishes. The session opens. He puts on the headset and begins the read. What he experiences does not translate cleanly into words, which is part of why the methodology reports are always inadequate. This doesn't feel like watching the video. The process of extraction usually takes time. His colleagues usually need many hours to connect with the victim's brain, but not Kai. It is something closer to inhabiting, a borrowed body's final seconds, with the full sensory weight of it. He feels her heart rate. He feels the cold of the kitchen floor through her clothes. He feels fear, which has a texture he has spent 12 years learning to read. This fear is not the slow dread of foreknowledge. It is the sudden kind, the kind that arrives when something happens faster than the mind can absorb. She backs against the counter. Her hand reaches behind her, finds the edge of the sink, steadies. A figure in the doorway. The kitchen light is on. She can see the figure, dark clothing face in the shadow. Nothing useful in the outline, nothing that breaks the standard procedure of a professional killer. The figure steps forward. Her fear sharpens into something absolute. And then the face. The face is visible now, someone's actual face, filling the center of her dying attention. The memory holds it for 3 seconds, which is an eternity. 3 seconds in which the subject fixes her gaze on the last thing she saw. Kai's face. His own face, looking back at him. He pulls the headset off. His hand hits the emergency session terminate on the terminal before the thought fully forms. The screen goes black. The cloud connection drops. The session is flagged as terminated. 094122. The read room is silent. He sits there. His breathing is the only sound. Then he reaches forward and ejects the chip from the receiver port. He holds it in his palm, the same titanium curve, the same little weight, and closes his fingers around it. Without the chip, the cloud recording is locked. Nobody at Kripos can access it. Without the chip, the session he just terminated is a data file sitting on a NeuroSync server behind an encryption key that only this piece of metal can open. He sits there. The chip is in his fist. He puts it in his pocket. He stands up. He straightens his jacket. He opens the door, and the corridor outside is empty and ordinary and fluorescent lit, and nothing in it knows what just happened. He walks to his desk. When Astrid finds him 20 minutes later and asks if the extraction has come back yet, he tells her it's still in progress. He is alone at his desk at 14:30 when he takes out his phone, scrolls to the missed calls, and dials the unknown number. It rings twice. "You have reached Mia. Leave a message after the tone." He hangs up. He sits very still. 3 calls between 22:31 and 0008. A number written in her kitchen in her own handwriting. She was trying to reach him, specifically him, before she was killed. The receipt is in his jacket pocket. 22:48, near Tjuvholmen. He was 4 kilometers from her apartment. He doesn't know what he was doing there. Is it possible that he met her? Is it possible that he was the last one seeing her alive before she died?
Now I'm learning how to let you close.